What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're diving into another Highguard discussion today. If you watched the first impression video, thank you very much, but we are following up with that video in this episode here today, and I'm just going to come right out with it and say it. I think this game is fucking awesome. I love this game, as a matter of fact. It has really grown on me, and I am so disappointed that I'm on the opposite side of the gaming community as far as this game goes, because I genuinely am having an absolute blast playing through this game. It's really an incredible experience. So the whole purpose of this video is hopefully to get someone that's maybe been hearing all the negativity to try the game out for themselves and formulate your own opinion, because it is absolutely worth it for this project. Now, to start the video off, I need to tackle the controversies surrounding the game first before we go into other thoughts regarding the game. So right out of the bat, this game was shown at the Game Awards at the very end of the show. It was the one last thing that Keighley showed off. So there was obviously a lot of intrigue surrounding this game based on that trailer. The trailer was pretty poor, to be honest. It wasn't a good representation of what the game is. It was basically crammed and rushed together by White Light Studios because they had the opportunity to get their game shown to a wide audience. So of course they took advantage of that. But again, the team wanted to shadow drop this game. The opportunity just fell in their lap to showcase it. So they did what they could. They released that. Reception was not incredible from the trailer, and that obviously impacted it, but it did get more eyes on the project, and a lot of people jumped in when it released. So this explains the 100,000 concurrent players that jumped into the game on release, because obviously it was marketed. However, if you look at Steam charts, you'll notice a massive dip in players down to around 9,000 after the first couple of days of the game being out. I actually have an explanation for this, I believe. Highguard has a very high skill floor, in my opinion. There is a lot of things going on in this project: reinforcing your base, capturing the shield breaker, having like a capture the flag type of sub mini game where you gotta take the shield breaker to the enemy dome to bust into the dome, and then once you get into the dome, you have this like search and destroy type of mode. So it takes a few games for sure to really understand and learn what the game wants you to do and how to approach these different objectives along the map. So there is a learning curve. This is not a game you're going to pick up on your first game and understand everything that's going on or understand in the most optimal way to play the game. That being said, when I played the game for the first time, it took me probably 4 to 5 matches to really start to understand the flow and what I needed to be doing to prioritize my downtime in between combat encounters. But once I learned, the game got significantly better. Once I was able to reach the floor, I could start to climb up from the floor and really get into the deeper mechanics on offer in this project. Now, I mentioned in my first impression video that 3v3 felt like an odd choice for this title because the map is so large. It was a little strange having only 3 players in the map. I also mentioned I would have liked to have seen 5v5 in this game in the future, and White Light has put 5v5 in the game almost immediately after release based on all of the criticism. I did mention, again, referring back to the first video, that 5v5 might be a little bit too chaotic. I'm assuming they'd already tried and tested that, but I wasn't sure. So I went into my gameplay session today expecting it to be really, really chaotic. However, it wasn't. It was more chaotic than the 3v3. It was much more fast-paced. There's no denying that fact. But it just feels different, and it works. It works 5v5, and I actually went back today and played 3v3 as well, and it slows the pacing down again, but it still works in both ways. I genuinely think this game is designed very, very well, no matter how many players are on the map, and I think that's really, really incredible. Now, to add on to my conversation about the combat feeling very free to play in this game, I still think there is an element to that. However, once you start to progress through the game further and further, and they unlock higher rarity weapons across the map, the top tier weapons actually do feel very, very good. So the weapon that you start the match with feels pretty shit on purpose, because it's constantly getting better as the game progresses and as you pick up increasing rarities of weapons throughout the playthrough. So now that I've gotten my hands on a gold dynasty, a gold vanguard, a gold paladin, and all of these other different weapons that are in the game, those feel absolutely amazing. So the combat that I was bitching about at the beginning, while it is still kind of there, it gets alleviated as the match progresses and as you start to have longer matches. Now, I will still say the hero shooter aspect is not my favorite thing. I would have loved for there to be, you know, equipable skills in these chests as opposed to having to select a hero at the beginning of the match. I think the hero shooter genre is overdone and overplayed at this point, but that's what they decided to go with here. It's not the end of the world. I just wish they were implemented a little bit differently, just because I'm tired of the hero shooter formula. But that's just a personal thing. Honestly, I don't think it's that big of a deal in this experience, and it does add some layers to the combat mechanics on offer here, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. So that's really all that I wanted to come on here and say as a follow-up to this game. I just really want people to ignore the negativity surrounding this project. I feel like a lot of the negativity is coming from people that just haven't committed the time required to reach the floor of the game to be able to actually start to learn it and get better at the game. And I think that's an absolute crime. So I'm doing my part, getting the positive word out there in hopes that somebody will change their opinion or decide that they will actually give it a try despite what the community around the game is saying, and jump in and commit a little bit of effort to learning the game. Because I think once you do that, you will find a very competent, very fun shooter here. And I am still very petrified that this game's going to get concorded, and that would be an absolute shame, especially now that I really enjoy the game and I plan on continuing to play this game for the foreseeable future. I'm absolutely astounded. I've been way out of the shooting game FPS genre for years, and of all the games that are bringing me back, Highguard is doing it for me. So definitely go out, check it out. Leave me your comments down below if there's a criticism that you want me to address. I would love to do that. Maybe you can, we can have a nice conversation in the comments, but don't be afraid of this one. Go out there, pick it up, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. I would love to see you guys out there on the battlefield. But other than that, thanks for watching. I love all of you. We will see you guys on the next video. Take it easy.